Hi everyone, it's Di here from Di's Den, and this week I'm going to show you how to make this. This is the last video for the year, and this is so it's the 20th of December, which is actually my husband's birthday as well, so happy birthday Shane. So this card actually is a sliding gift card. Now it's not my idea, I did see this on the demonstrator website, excuse me, but it was in American sizes, so it's shorter and wider. So to make it for the European Australian market, I have actually changed the settings, the measurements of it, and I love it. I have actually put a magnetic closure on this one, so it will hold the gift card, as I have a gift card here. Well, it's a VIP card, but still it's the same thing. And that's the card. So this time we're going to use a different set. We're not going to use the Dove of Hope. So let me pop that up there and show you what we're going to use today. We're going to use the poinsettia petals, and I'm going to be using the dies to make the poinsettia. So I've used 2 of this size die and 2 of the smaller one, and these 2 tiny ones for the inside. I've actually made the poinsettia up already, as it takes a little bit of extra time, and this is a fairly long video anyway, so I've done some of the work like that. So I got my poinsettias out of this piece of card, and this measured 4 3/4 by 4 1/4, so I can pop that in the rubbish bin now out of the way. You don't need to see that anymore. Oh, sorry. I'm also going to be using for my, this has a writing panel on the back as well, so that you can write your message. And I'm going to be using the May Magic and Wonder Bloom This Holiday. Oh, that's a mouthful for me today. And I still have this croaky throat. I'm going to be using my markers for my berries. I'm putting some berries on the back of that as well. Oh, show you over the container. These berries here. So I'm just going to use my markers to mark them. So I'm going to use my red marker. I have the Regal markers. You will also need your layering circles, and you're going to need the 7th size in, which is the 2nd size down, so 2nd size if you're going up, in the scallop and the plain, and the 4th size in the scallop and the plain. 1, 2, 3, 4th size in the scallop and plain as well. So they're the things that we're going to be needing for the card. So let's tell you what we're going to need. I've got all my bits here. Now excuse me for my throat. I don't know why. It's been so dusty here that it's playing havoc with my throat. Okay, so we're going to need a card blank, main card bit, that measures 11 3/4 by 4 1/8 inches. I'm going to need 2 layers, and these both measure 3 7/8, and one is 3.5 inches and the other one is 2 inches. And then the designer series paper, which is retired because this was out of last year's Christmas, not this year's Christmas, but I just loved it, and I had this little bit left over, so I thought I'm going to use it up. And both, you need 2 pieces of that, and they both measure 3 5/8 wide, and this one is 3 1/4 inches and this one is 1 3/4 inches. To make your circles, you're going to need 2 pieces of card that measure 3.5 inches square, to make, because you want 2 of the scalloped larger circle and 1 of the plain circle, and then you'll need another piece for that in the 3.5 inches. For the next circle down, you will need a piece of card that measures about 2.5 inches square in whichever colour you're using, and a white one, or you can use another colour if you want, depending on what you're doing. For your pocket, you're going to need a piece that measures 7 inches by 3 1/4 inches. Sorry, my throat's still going. And for my inside flap, you're going to need another piece that measures 3 5/8 by 2 5/8, and a piece of designer series paper. No, that's the wrong size, sorry. This one is 3 7/8 by 2 7/8, and this one is 3 5/8 by 2 5/8, and then a writing panel for the back, which is 3 7/8 by 5.5. So this will fit into a regular C6 envelope. So let's pop those on one side, and I'll turn over my page because I do need to read my instructions because I've only made this a couple of times. And we're going to bring in our scoreboard and put our piece of card in on the long side, and we're going to score this at 2 1/4 inches and 8 inches. So while we've got our scoreboard here, we might as well score our pocket piece, and that needs to be scored at, let's see, I've got to find it now. Yeah, scoreboard at 1 7/8, which is the mark just below the 2, and 6 1/2. So they're the 4 score lines you're going to need. So let's move my board out of the way, and we'll start off with our main card. So we're going to fold and burnish these score lines on this main card. And then we can actually place our pieces of designer series paper, that's the wrong one, on top. So we will get our 2 pieces of designer series paper here, and what we're going to do is we're going to pop these 2 pieces together, oops, and I'm going to glue them together now and put them on the top. Sorry if you can hear a lot of noise outside today. They decided to shut my street off to do some roadworks. How lovely of them. So this piece goes on the top of the card here and sits just beautifully on the top of the card, like so. With our next layer, we're going to put on our bottom piece on the front. So if you're looking at it like that, they're both the same way. And we're going to just pop the first layer on first. And because I'm going to be putting a magnet in mine, I will show you what I do next. So I have my 2 magnet pieces here. Obviously I'm going to pop one on here, so let me pop the 2 pieces together, and I'll need a glue dot. And where are my glue dots? There we go. I'm going to put a glue dot on one of these, and we're going to pop it down so that there's enough room for everything to stick on top. So we can pop that other one off and pop it on the side for now, and we're then going to glue our other piece of designer series paper on top of the magnet. I'm also going to put a bit of extra around the outside of it as well, so that it stays nice and firm in there. I'm going to glue that down to the front of the card, making sure that I'm pressing down right around the magnet so that it actually is nicely encased, so it's not going to pop off at any stage. So that is the outside of the card done for now, and now we'll just pop that on one side, and we will work on the other half of the closure. So for the other half of the closure, you need your 2 circles, and what you need to do is you need to put one circle on top of your card like so, feeling where the magnet is, right? And I need a pencil. I forgot I need a pencil. I'm just going to mark this just here on the inside, because this is the inside, so we're not going to be able to see it, and we can just draw our line just above it on the outside so we know to put our glue above that line for the top of our card. When we pop it back down again, we can see that that's where it's got to go, so that we know that we haven't glued it in the wrong spot. And these are going to be encased, so we don't need to even rub them off. Sorry, I had a mental blank again. So, right, we're going to pop our other magnet onto the top of that, and then we're going to place another glue dot on the top of that, so that it helps to hold it down. And then we're going to glue our other circle, scallop circle that is, to the top of this, making sure we've got plenty of glue all around the thing. And then we're going to just line up the scallops so that it looks like one piece. It's going to look a bit lumpy there, but it won't show once we put all the other pieces on top. Once we've done that and we know it's right, we can then open and close. Oh, I popped that one inside of that. That's a bit silly, wasn't it? So you can see that that's going to pop close just nicely. Let's see. I've got a little bit of paper stuck there, but it's not going to show because it's going to be closed down like this anyway. So just make sure you've got it on the outside, not on the inside like I had that one. So it just goes to prove we all make mistakes. So we have our first ones together, and now we can place our other green one on top. Just making sure I've got it the right way up. It is very windy outside too. It's blowing a gale today again. So now we're going to just glue our other two circles together. Now it's up to you whether you want a white one. If you just wanted to put this on there and put it on there, Merry Christmas or something, or if you're making it for a birthday, you could put it on there with a happy birthday. But I'm just going to pop mine on like this with some dimensions because I'm going to pop something else on top of it. So I'll pop that on there, and then that piece is done out of the way. Oops, my bin's in the wrong spot. And I'm going to pop that on the top. So that is our main card done, except for gluing. Now for me, I find that using the red liner tape is actually the best. It's a bit stronger, but any double-sided tape, and you only need 1/4 inch size tape. I like red liner, it's just a little bit more stronger. So that's up, as I say, that's entirely up to you, and I'll pop my red liner tape on there already. I'm not going to push it down yet because I want to just get the rest of my card ready. So let's pop that on one side while we do our pocket. Okay, for our pocket, what we're going to do is we're going to fold and burnish the score lines. We're going to fold one score line up and the other score line down. So we have like a Z fold here. So if we can see that, the little one is the opposite way to the big one. I'm going to use my 1 3/4 inch circle punch just to punch out a bit of a finger hole. Whoops, that came flying across the room. And it doesn't have to be very far down, but just far enough down so that you can get your finger in there and you can see where it is. I'm also going to put some more red liner tape on the inside of my pocket here so that it's closed down, and across the top. So I'm popping a piece of this across the top here as well. Now, as I say, if you've only got normal double-sided tape, that's fine. Just to give it that extra strength, you can also put a bit of your wet glue on the top of it, so that it actually helps it to stick down even harder, believe it or not. So we're going to pull our bottom pieces off of where our pocket is, and see if I can get them off my fingers, and close up our pocket. So my pocket is now closed up. So what I'm going to do next, and this is completely optional, is I'm actually going to, like I did on this one, in case you didn't see it, I actually drew like little lines around so that it looked like it had been stitched. So I'm going to do that again, and I'm starting up the top here, and I'm just doing little stitch marks all the way around. It just makes it easy for you to see. In my case it's not too bad because I've got two different colours here together, but it just sort of finishes it off and makes it look just a little bit different. Because you don't see this bottom edge, you don't need to do your stitch line if you're doing it along the bottom. I'm going to just pop it around the top here as well, and around my semicircle. Okay, so that's my circles done. So we're going to bring in our main card again, and we're going to then lift our pocket, and we're going to lay this pocket inside with this laying flat. This score line is going to be laying flat, and we're going to take our tape off, pop that in the bin, and lining it up so that it's even on both sides, because we want it to be fairly even. And we're going to then close, and we want it butted up against this top score line here, and we're going to close that over on top of it, and that is going to give us our pocket. So now we're going to pop the bottom bits off, and I'm going to then close this one up as well. You could have done that before if you wanted to. I just find that for me it's just a little bit easier to do it after. Oops. And this is, you need to coax it down the first time. See if I can coaxing it down. Oh, there we go. We're coaxing it down nicely inside. Oh my goodness, it's really tight. Oh, come on, be a good girl and go in there. I'm going to have to just sort of pull that up a little bit so that there's a little bit of leeway there. There we go. It's now flattened in there, and it will slide down inside. There we go. And we've got it. It's just a little bit tight on the very first time. Don't worry, just ease it in there, and as you can see it does actually now fold up. We're going to pop our other piece of designer series paper and border on the inside here, so let's pop these two pieces together. It's blowing a gale out there today. So much for summer. It's quite cool, and it's also very blowy. And this one goes up the top here. That just makes that look so much more finished than being plain on the inside there. I'm also now going to close it up again to make, I'm doing it more and more so that it actually does become easier. Oh God, I'm having mental blanks today here. I'm popping a little poinsettia flower on the inside just there, and as you can see it is getting easier and easier to push over. So while we're doing this, I'm going to now pop this onto the front of my card, and once that's on there, I'm then going to place my holly leaves around the outside just to finish it off. Oops. Put 2 on that side, and I'll put 2 more on the other side here. I'm popping them underneath the second circle because that way I can sit up a little bit off of the bottom. Oops, get in there. There we go. And I have this beautiful gem from called Beaded Pearls, and these all finish up on the 4th of January. So if you would like some of these things from the Christmas catalogue, you really need to be quick now. And popping that one into the centre of my, let's remove this bit of paper, and while we're waiting on that to dry there, let's do our stamping for the back. Now, depending on which way you want to do this, you can have this open sideways, which I'll pop what did I do with the other thing? It's in this one. I will pop this one inside, and you can see that this will fold down beautifully. And I will actually now stamp this, but I'm going to stamp it this way because I'm going to have this one as a sitting this way card. So I have my Memento black ink, and I'm going to stamp my words that say may magic and wonder bloom this holiday. We definitely need some bloom for this holiday. And we're going to pop our berries down here in the corner, and I will then pop the lid on this ink and get out my red marker pen. And remembering what I told you before, the small end is for writing or very intricate things, and the large end of the line here is for colouring in. You can colour in with the other line. There's no thing that says you can't, but it is great for if you wanted to write something, because it is a writing nib on that end. Okay, so that's my flowers done. Let's turn this over and put some glue on the back. Let's put my nib in there because it's starting to dry up. My pin. And we're going to turn our card over and pop our writing panel onto the back. And that's the end of that card. Look at that. That is just so beautiful, and I think that we're going to really love these, and they're a great idea. You could make these into birthdays, or in this case this is Christmas, but I don't know, I just think there's countless amounts of things that you can do with it. And I hope you've enjoyed my tutorial, and I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I will be back on the 10th of January with the new year and a new catalogue. Yes, we have a new catalogue that comes out on the 5th, so if you would like more information about the catalogue, or a catalogue, and you live in Australia, please give me a call, email or PM, and I can help you with your purchase, or I can help you with if you have would like the tutorials or anything like that. And if you do would like the written tutorial for this, please head over to my YouTube, not my YouTube, my Facebook group, sorry, my Facebook group, and you will find the written tutorial there. The information is at the bottom here, so you will be able to find out where it all is, and I will see you again next year. Bye for now.